What is going on, YouTube? It's Jay back with another video, and I've got a guest with me. Actually, we're doing a special little video, and I wanted some company. Jon-Luke VGC, everybody.
Howdy ho, Jingles crew.
There's the intro. I thought we were only going to see it on his channel, but we got a nice little treat today. So thank you for joining me, Jon-Luke.
Thank you for having me.
We actually did a collaboration on your channel, didn't we, for a little bit of ZA content. So it's a pleasure to have you on mine. This is awesome.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have to talk about our own teams, which I think I will not be a good judge of.
No bias.
No bias. Just
yeah, no bias at all.
You know what I mean?
So we get to rip into all the other teams as well, including you can rip into mine and I'll rip into yours. That way, there, you know, we have a little bit of a we have a little bit of contrast there.
We have to manufacture controversy for YouTube, I guess.
Oh yeah, well I've already got a rival. You need to get one now, so this is your chance.
I vibe. We're all about the vibes in the DDL. So.
Oh, but we need people to be watching. It's like, oh man, these guys hate each other, and oh my goodness, I need to tune in. So like, just like make up some sort of fake story. This guy, like, he killed my dog, like, you know, like John Wick.
Oh my gosh, none of us need to be John Wicks.
No, I think the world is much better with less John Wicks in it.
Yeah, the fewer John Wicks, the better, honestly.
Yeah, quote it, quote it, everybody, quote it. Anyway, so what is this video all about? So we're going to do, let me see. So because the season's coming soon, today I think we're recording on the 2nd. The first video actually comes out on the 12th. Right now we're getting a few of the teams, including myself and Jon-Luke, doing videos recording their team, why they drafted it, a little bit of an inside story on how the draft went, their mindset on their team, and what to expect for the season, kind of how they're going to play, without giving too much away, of course. But we've had a few of them trickle out, and we're going to have I think everybody said they were eventually going to do one. There might be one straggler, but I think everybody's going to do one. Curious to kind of see what they got going on. Then we're going to rate all the teams. We're going to rate them all on a nifty little tier list I got right here. Made it myself, swear, no help. And it's not really hard to do. And we're going to rate them all. We're going to talk about them all, give our thoughts on all of them. And then we're also going to do a little bit of a power rankings at the end. We'll rate them all 1 to 10. And I guess we'll dive into that just to kind of get ready for our first battle, which is actually you versus Scooteezy, isn't it?
That is correct. Scooteezy and I will be starting off the entire league Friday, December 12th. Ooh,
big one. You got to start it off strong. You don't want to dumpster fire first game, right? Because then everyone's
thanks for the vote of confidence there, buddy.
Well, I know you've already played, but these people don't know.
Right, exactly. That's why I said that. I was like, I'm not going to say anything about the game.
Yeah, please. Yeah. They're just like, you're going to have like some like psychoanalyst, whatever it is, that's just like, based on his inflection in these words, he actually lost the first, you know. So, anyway, what's that?
No. I was gonna compound on the joke, but you've already crossed the moment. It's done. It's over.
I did cross the line, and let's cross into the first team we're gonna talk about. First team we're gonna talk about is CiscomooYT. CiscomooYT has I've become friends with Cisco over the past couple of years. He's joined me in the YPL. It was his very first one. I think he thought he could have done a little bit better. He was just kind of getting his feet wet with it, but now I remember almost his exact words when I asked him. He's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely, I need to redeem myself." So he definitely wanted to come back, and this is what he wanted to do. So I think these are in order, or no, they're just rated from top points down. So I wish we can give a little bit of context of when they were drafted. But if you can remember anything, Jon-Luke, let me know exactly what was picked in order. But Iron Hands started off the draft first overall. What did you think of that pick?
I mean, it's smart. I mean, it makes total sense. Iron Hands is a fantastic utility mon. It does. I think it's a little weaker in draft for a few reasons that we can talk about if we want to. But I think overall, it's a fantastic Pokemon. Really insane stats. Like, doesn't even need its ability. But as we can tell, CiscomooYT did actually draft something to give it its ability if you wanted. But overall, I'm not surprised by the pick at all. I still think it's a good pick. I don't think necessarily Iron Hands is like VGC levels broken in draft, but it's still up there.
Well, it's funny that you said that it was like a good utility mon with 140 attack stat.
Well, what I mean by that is like normally you're gonna want to run AV on this thing. Like this thing's so specially weak, like in the terms of special defense, that it comes with a lot of problems, but it gets insane coverage moves like ice. It gets Ice Punch, it gets Rock Slide, you know, off a base 140 attack, you know what I mean? So you can even like not invest that much attack. So it's got a wide array of moves. I think mainly my issues with it draft-wise is like, okay, well, if you want it to live, like you're forced to use Assault Vest on it, and it's not particularly fast, which I guess you could like pick up surprises by going like Jolly Max Speed, Iron Hands, but then all of a sudden the enjoyment from its livability goes away pretty significantly. So I just don't think it has the flexibility that you would want in a draft mon necessarily outside of the move choice.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Like, and I've always said that a good draft Pokemon is either very good at many things or the best at one thing. Yeah. And I think that might be the case with Iron Hands here. It is basically designed in VGC that, and this is no news to you because you're very well versed in VGC and have been playing a long time. Iron Hands is essentially meant to switch in, eat the hit, fake out the next turn. It allows you to reposition so well, and I've got a couple on my team that I'm able to do, so I definitely see what he was going for with the Iron Hands. I think he was talking to me, he was debating on a couple, and I said, you know what, I've had Iron Hands before, so I kind of maybe influenced him a little bit to grab it, and I liked the pick, and it really comes down to the supporting cast, which he went for Heatran with, I believe, the second pick. Was it? Is this an order, or did he eventually just grab the Heatran? Because he had the wheel.
I don't remember. Yeah, he was first on the pick. Yeah, so he would have did his, then went all the way back. So I don't quite remember his exact order. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we could, I guess, go back through the channel and find it, but
yeah, Pincurchin was last. I know that for sure.
Yeah, Pincurchin was dead last. Yeah, that was his like final 1 point left pick kind of thing. But I honestly, if he had picked Heatran second, like it makes sense. But I think probably for Ridgeraff is who he picked second, honestly. But
I think these two were probably picked back to back, which it's very bulky. He's got his Trick Room set up. He's got his anti-fake out with fake out, and he's got another absolute sponge in Heatran as well. Like that thing only has what, 2 weaknesses? 3. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 resistances / immunities. That's bananas.
Yeah, and particularly between it and Iron Hands especially pretty weak. So if you don't run one of the Assault Vest, Fairy type moves are pretty scary. And then all of a sudden, Heatran does not care at all about Fairy type moves. You know what I mean? Quad resisting them. So with a very solid, I think it has a base 106 special defense off the top of my head. Not because I'm like maybe facing CiscomooYT this week or something, and I've had to run my calcs and everything. But just maybe I'm thinking about it. You know, I just know Heatran, you know, out the gate.
So, you know, completely unrelated, you know, Heatran actually with 244 special defense actually takes. So,
Did you know?
Yeah, it's just off the top of my head. I'm not smart. You know.
I don't know when this video is coming out, but I can't reveal the tech that we're coming up with.
Yeah, please don't. But yeah, I liked the way he started his draft, but it all comes down to how you round it out in the end, because we know it's all about the entire team effort. So Mimikyu Gyarados was his next wheel pick, and then Meowscarada Noivern. I'm seeing he was definitely wanting to get around his ground weakness as the draft went on. Do you feel like he accomplished that?
I do. I think if you're looking solely at the criteria for like getting around the draft weakness, okay, sure. I do think that we get, so once we get a little farther down, I start failing to see the kind of bigger picture, I guess. Yeah. Like
I agree
the
with
first
that.
4 Pokemon scream hard Trick Room. We're like, okay, we're going hard Trick Room. Like that's exactly what we're doing. Gyarados, okay, I get it. You know, Utility Mon. You can do some stuff with it. You could run Dragon Dance. You could do like T-Wave, Waterfall, Flint strats, like that kind of stuff. And Meowscarada, I get as well. You know, you still need a fast pivot on hard Trick Room teams. We see it all the time in VGC with like Choice Scarf or Shifu, stuff like that. So honestly, even the first 6 I get. But then we get like Noivern. And I'm like, okay, like it gets Frisk, which is really good in draft, but it's really fast. And you now effectively have 2 Pokemon that really want to hold the Focus Sash, unless you're going to give like Meowscarada the Choice Band item, which I guess you could totally. And then like Gliscor and Frostmoth, I don't quite get at all, I'm going to be honest. And that just, I could just like not be seeing the vision. Yeah. It's,
which can
and
be
then
scary.
Pincurchin. Pincurchin, I think, was a good last pick for him. It's like, okay, well, Pincurchin has a base 15 speed. It's like, if you are going the Trick Room route, it's insanely slow. It gets things like Helping Hand. It can assist Iron Hands by giving it an ability. You know, it gets Toxic Spikes. It gets Stealth Rocks if you want to kind of go that route, like with the Poison Flint strats or whatever you want to do, kind of stuff like that. So, like, I get it. But yeah, I fail to see kind of some of the synergy at the end of the draft.
This looks very much like and you're new to draft yourself, right? This looks like I drafted one way in my first draft, and these are the things that I ran into as problems. And it looks like he went for his first two and said, I need to protect those two as much as possible. And so you see a bug type, you see flying, grass, flying. Heatran is supported by Gyarados almost perfectly except for the electric coverage. Like vice versa, like they're perfect switch-ins for one another. So if this team is played kind of with, I see its stronger mode as more of a balance mode. Just getting positioning, maybe setting Trick Room, having like a late game sweeper with maybe the Meowscarada, things like that. Maybe like go hard Trick Room and then have a banded Meowscarada at the end of it. That way you win on turn 6, not turn 3 and 4 or 5 in Trick Room. So if it's kind of played like that, I can see it doing well. Do we have enough natural offense on this team? Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say so.
Yeah.
I mean, you have hands.
I don't mind this team. I'd probably put it like mid to lower. Like if we were to rate it,
I'd say perfectly average.
Yeah, like maybe like B to low B.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the B category is totally valid. I see the vision. I think it kind of wanders out at the end there. I do think that they're, and again, I could just be missing the sauce. You know what I mean? Like anything I say, I am pretty new to draft, so. But yeah, I think overall it's solid, but it doesn't seem anything particularly exemplary. But it's certainly not bad. I mean, you can't have Iron Hands, Heatran, and Farigiraf on a team and say it's bad. That would just be like wrong. Yeah, like it's. In a draft that we just saw, like in the DDL draft, it was hard to pick out like a bad team. Like I don't think there are really any bad teams. It's just which ones stand out above the rest. And I think this one is probably mid to low mid. I think it's probably safe, and we might move things up and down depending on how we want to spread it out. But which actually, so I guess I would probably put it there, and you'd probably agree with that as well. We kind of talked about things that the team can do. We got a couple of different Tailwind setters on the team. We have a couple different Trick Room setters on the team. We've got a little bit of natural offense, some pivoting. We've got some Intimidate. And then we've got some terrain control with Pincurchin as well. I think this team could do well and might surprise people a little bit. Yeah, I think he drafted a really good team there. I think he's going to be doing just fine with a bunch of different things he can do. But speaking of different things you can do, we actually have your team next. Oh, we're going in pick order, yeah. Bum-ba-dum. Yes, this is my team. So you already talked a little bit about your draft on your channel. If you guys haven't seen it yet, go check out Jon-Luke's breakdown of his team. He had one of the funniest intros to a video I've ever seen, so definitely go check it out. It was very entertaining. So talk about your team just a little bit. Maybe just give like Cole's notes, maybe like a little nugget of what you didn't mention in yours. I'll just sum up kind of what I said. So 2 main points. People think Incins bad in draft. I want to prove that wrong. And I often advertise myself when I coach people. I actually often say, do not label yourself as a certain type of player. You're just a Pokemon player playing a team. But I do often advertise myself as a balanced player. And so my goal into the draft was to pick mons that have good synergy together and are good enough that people know about them, but aren't so good that they know everything about them. Yes. That also provide some flexibility. So I basically picked good Pokemon that can do different things. So you never, the goal was to not have like a very obvious plan with my team. The goal was to have a collection of mons that I can do whatever I need to for each individual opponent. I think that's fair. Like the team does look pretty well rounded. You have a lot of different higher stats in every category. Like if you look at HP, you've got your bulk, obviously the Regidrago, the Zapdos, the Sylveon, the Incineroar, like I was just going to stop at the 95s, but it just kept on going. So you have a lot of bulk in your HP stat. You've got physical attackers in you have your body press stuff. You've got your like stab body press, by the way, the Incineroar. You have the, what's it called? The physical Regidrago if you wanted to do that. Special side. Well, actually you do have the justified Cobalion that you could do if you wanted to. You have high defense stats in 3 different places. Special defense, special attack, you've got like 5 or 6 of them.
special defense a lot, and you have a good contrast in speed. So I think that you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I think so far, like I have quite a few different opportunities in the team. I have a Tailwind setter, I have a Trick Room setter, I have Fast Mons, I have Slow Mons, I have Type Synergy, I have both a Fire, Water, Grass core and a Fantasy core, and then I have like Redirection, a bunch of options
two different
there.
types.
So yeah, Yep, 2 different types of redirection. I did actually very specifically want both of those Pokemon because they provide utility in different ways.
Well,
and Amoonguss was too expensive. So
one-pointers too. Like Venonat is... I actually looked this up. Venonat has similar damage reduction, or like just based on bulk with the Eviolite, than Amoonguss does. You just can't hold an item. So
correct.
It's like running an Amoonguss without an item. That's the way I like to look at it. And
no regenerator. That's the other thing too.
Yeah, and no regenerator.
Yeah, no regenerator is kind of as well, but that's good. What gives Amoonguss kind of one of its bigger bumpy wumps, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Bumpy wumps.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Amoonguss is bumpy wumps.
You went for Chestnut round 2. I assume that's something you really, really wanted to make sure you got.
Yeah, without revealing too much of the game plan, I guess, I feel like Chestnut provides a lot of utility, particularly in its abilities and its really wide moveset. People immediately think of it as like this kind of offensive mon, but it actually, very cheap, only 5 points, makes a really incredible utility mon. It gets things like, I have Incins, so this is a little superfluous, but I get knockoff. I get wide guard, I get spiky shield, I get leech seed, I can go for body press if I want to. I get low sweep. Like all of if you actually look at its moveset, it's actually incredibly wide, and in combination with bulletproof, it can actually hard wall certain Pokemon, which I think everybody was pretty scared of in the draft. And so it was kind of a safe bet that like, hey, these really, really strong Pokemon, if somebody picks them, I immediately have an answer. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like this is going to provide me utility coverage. So it's not going to come to every matchup, but it's when the matchups that it does come to, it will be incredibly important.
Well, you can definitely give me a reason to make my first Y draft video on Chestnut after you win the DDL. I think that'd be a good way to start off after the season's over. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go positive.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do just fine. Like I think, yeah, the games have to be played not on paper, right? And you know, when you look at the names, you look at some of the teams, it's like, oh, you know. I think that it's scarier than it is. I think everyone's gonna do just fine, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, like I see a lot of really, really nice pieces. You probably have one of my favorite Draft League Pokemon of all time in Meowstic on your team. You mentioned exactly what it could do and why you drafted it, and it was all the same reasons why I love it. So you got that, and it just enables so many things on your team, right? It gives you a fake out user, you have another one now, you got your weather control, terrain control, fake tiers, all that fun stuff. So Meowstic is just fantastic. Prankster T-Wave alone is worth drafting something. Yes. Right? So...
And it was way cheaper than Grimmsnarl.
And it's definitely way cheaper than Grimmsnarl, so... It's no Klefki, though, if you know what I mean, you know?
It's better than Klefki.
Oh, just wait till we face each other. It's gonna be a prankster face-off. Both of us are Terra Dark and call it a day. The Sylveon was good value, too. I was looking at that earlier. The Zapdos was a really nice pick. Very underrated in draft. I think a lot of people are like, no flying coverage other than Hurricane? No thanks. This thing is
not
very
true.
Good.
It does get one other flying move. Yeah.
It gets Air Cutter. You should do it.
Anyway. I don't know how much I want to reveal, but in a battle that has already been recorded, I do have Air Cutter on it.
Ooh, spoilers! I was actually gonna tease a couple, maybe in my next video or something like that, leading up to it. I'd be like, ooh, here's a little clip of what happened, or something like that. And I don't know if you want to do that too, Jon-Luke, but
we'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the team. I think you have a lot of different ways to come at a roster. You have, I think prep will be very easy for you. You have pretty much every tool you could desire. You have a bulky grass type, bulky water type, bulky fire type, and you have your fairy dragon steel core as well. I see coaching, fake out, spread damage, single target damage, setup, sleep powder, follow me. You've got everything, dude. I think you're gonna be just fine. This team might not be rated super high by other people, but I see it. But, so how should we rate a team like this? Should we rate it based on what you and I see? Or should we rate it based on what other people see? Because I think a lot of people would rate this team low and they would be mistaken.
I would say it's a B tier pick, and the reason for that is that you are correct. I made a point to say that none of these Pokemon are specifically amazing, and so I do think that player skill and prep is kind of the primary driver behind its success. Yep. So I basically, I don't want to like toot my own horn, but it's not necessarily that I think I'm like good. It's like I think I can put the time in to prep with it.
Yeah.
And so I think that
there you go.
Like week 1, I spent 6 hours over the course of the week prepping with the team. So
wow.
I think ultimately, yeah, it was a long one. Hopefully this week is not the same. But basically, I think that this team in particular is success is more driven by player skill more than the actual individual components, because if you do look at it, there's not any like inherent synergy. There's no real strategy here. You have to be willing to take the time to figure it out.
Well, and we just watched Wolfie make the finals in the WDL with a team that a lot of people early in the season were rating it very low, and I was like, guys, I think there's value in not knowing and having standard, and I'm going to say standard in quotations, for people who don't play draft. They're just like, where's your beat up mon? I don't see a beat up mon. Garbage. You know what I mean? Or right. Like, I'm trying to think, like, you don't have your prankster Tailwind with the Regidrago. Garbage. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it is going to be very hard to prep against a team like this because you don't know what to target down, and there might be something you bring they don't have an answer for. So,
and that's the thing too. It's like some of these Pokemon I picked because very obvious strategies were forming around certain teams, and I went, oh, I don't need to worry about this. If I pick Xmon, I basically immediately have a very favorable matchup into Y player.
Yeah, very smart to counter team what has been picked, and it's all public, right? As the draft is going on, I do that too sometimes. Like, no one picked Dozogiri, so there wasn't a major emphasis on grabbing major Dozogiri answers, right? But like, we're gonna get into some of the more common strats and archetypes on the other teams in just a second. And yeah, if you targeted down those, I think that's a great draft, and I think you're gonna do just fine. But moving on to my favorite Aussie currently, Scooteezy, and this is your week 1 opponent.
It
was, yeah, but people living aren't there yet, man.
That's true. Yeah, sorry.
We're in the future. It has one of my favorite Draft League Pokemon and Sandy Shocks on it, and I think this team started out its draft really well. With first pick was Chi-Yu, second pick was Enamorous or I think it was Ogerpon, wasn't it? Or Thundurus.
It was something along those lines. I can't quite remember.
I think it was Ogerpon Wellspring second, and then the Enamorous Thundurus were back to back, because I think he sent me his picks overnight, saying pick these next. But I think what do you think of the double Genie on this team?
Incredibly good synergy. I mean, it makes it's like a fantastic core in just 2 Pokemon. I think it was an absolutely good choice. I mean, you have Contrary and Amorous, where Thundurus can side Eerie Impulse, side Scary Face, all of that stuff, and then those utility moves are also fantastic into the opposing team, because then you can Eerie Impulse the opponent special attackers, you can make them slower, all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think that those two together as a core are worth every bit of points, because they actually are like really fantastic. You can base an entire, like, you can just have those two, and then the rest of the team you can kind of do whatever, and you're always going to have that pair there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Thundurus is really known as like this major support mon, so by adding a contrary mon on your team, it just gives you another way to attack your opponent, or to go at your opponent. So I like it a lot too. Chi-Yu was actually my first pick going into this draft. Before any picks were made, I was like, I think I want Chi-Yu. I want to build a team around Chi-Yu. I had a few partners in line, and he didn't pick them, so I don't want to share that information with him because I don't want to face it. But I'm glad he didn't pick what I thought would have been great. But I think that he did really well grabbing a bunch of pieces. Like the Hitmontop, I thought was a really nice add there, because Thundurus, Enamorous, like Rock Slide spam, defensive Terra into like say fairy moves or something like that, and then you go for Rock Slide spam into this team. So Hitmontop would definitely allow, because obviously a lot of rock moves are physical as well, so pivoting in the Hitmontop on a Rock Slide, fantastic, and also intimidating at the same time, and just watch out for Power Gems and Meteor Beams and you'll be fine. But yeah, this team, if you've got Rock Slide, you better bring it, get rid of that Hitmontop and go from there. But I really like that Hitmontop pick. I haven't had it yet. There's a bunch of wish list Pokemon I've always wanted to have, and Hitmontop just has not found its way onto a team yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Well, and this The synergy there as well with Ogerpon is great because you do finish that Fire, Water, Grass core in only 2 Pokemon, as well as answer that Rock type coverage if you are hitting Rock Slide. Like all of a sudden, Ogerpon's going to handle that really well. If you have Water types for Chi-Yu, you have Grass type attacks alongside the Thwackey, so anything there can get powered up. Yeah, I think this synergy on Scooteezy's team is honestly pretty fantastic.
Yeah. I think, yeah, you see a lot of different ways that it can play. Like you even see the Doc Spun there with like possibly the Lava Plume on the Chi-Yu along with the Colossal. Wide Guard also works really well. So I feel like you can just Lava Plume safely. One of those modes is really nice. You've got the redirection with the Ogerpon. Not a lot of setup on the team. I don't see a lot of setup, which maybe like a Nasty Plot Thundurus or something like that. But like Follow Me could just keep things alive, right? And again, you have to watch out for that Choice Scarf or Choice Specs Chi-Yu or the Focus Sash, which is just very devastating across the board that we've seen in VGC. And we see the Duosion there as well. Like, is there even a Tricker mode on this? Or is it just a deterrent?
No, I think it's a deterrent. I think the Duosion is like to answer, because otherwise this team does actually struggle into opposing Trick Room, like particularly with physical attackers, because if effectively you don't want to scary face Trick Roomons, because then you're just making them slower and you're playing into their hands, and if they're physical attackers, then the Eerie Impulse isn't really doing anything. So it's like, well, okay, I'll have Duosion. It's kind of like, because if you go for Trick Room, then he does have the opportunity. I don't know if Thundurus learns like Psychic Terrain or anything like that, but you could in theory go Duosion. Yeah, I know that Duosion has the highest special attack stat out of any second stage Pokemon, I'm fairly certain. It's like
Probably.
125, like base 125 or something like that. So it's like very, actually, that's very respectable on a Pokemon like that. So, and plus the Eviolite, like you can just kind of like bulk it out, have some fun. So I get why it's there. I understand the vision for it. I'm not huge on it particularly, but if we watch like James Beck in the Wolfie Draft League, it obviously has some use.
Yeah, I think it's probably more so there as a, if you want to play in it, I can play this game.
Yeah.
And then it's bulky enough to reset it too, right? So like just get it on the field, you set it, okay, fine. Like maybe you don't even need the Imprison either, right? You just grab it, reset it, and then you play in the room you want to play in, right? And then it gets some really nice support moves as well. The Colossal I don't care too much for, but I'm sure there are some strategies for that. The Thwackey, okay, fine. I can say, like, again, Eviolite, we're looking at maybe sharing the same item, but you might not necessarily run them on the same team. But I think this team looks kind of nice. Fire, Water, Grass. Steel type? No, there is no Steel type. No. I saw Sandy Shocks and I got kind of owned. It's Magnezone. Magneton. Yeah. So a team like this, would you rate this because of its hyper offensive capabilities? Would you rate this a little higher?
Yeah, I'd say it's A tier for sure.
Yeah, like it's not perfect, but I think because it's got like that Eerie Impulse and D-Gleam stuff or whatever it is, I think having that Insta mode, even like Chi-Yu next to the Enamorus, like that's really scary stuff. And I think having the output like that immediately on turn 1 naturally, I think is worth being a little higher, right? A few of the other teams need to position, get set up. Things like that. This one could just go, and I think there's value to that. And there's a bit of bulk too. There's a little bit of balance play here. You can kind of mess around with pivoting and repositioning too. So I kind of like it. I think he did a good job.
I think the big thing, I agree, and I think the thing is like if he techs some stuff on, so he picks up a surprise like turn 1 or turn 2 of a game, it's really hard to bring yourself back because the team doesn't give you any room to breathe. So,
no, it just steps on your throat. It's like there's no coming back.
So yeah, I'd say A tier for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Speaking of A tier player, Justin Tang.
We have an S tier on this thing, and he's not an S tier player. Okay, buddy.
Well, it stops at S, right? But I'm sure I can make a new category. But let's see. But we know about the player. What do we think about the team? What do we think about the team itself?
Okay, so I personally I love you, Justin. Like we've talked like twice now, I guess, or something like that. I think this is one of, if not the weakest team in the draft.
You say the weakest team in the draft?
Yes, I would full-heartedly say.
Explain yourself,
one of,
sir.
If not the weak. Okay, so effectively we're playing Reg F, and Justin's playing Reg H.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, essentially he doesn't have. Well, they're all very good though. Like.
Right, but the synergy, again, at least in my theory of draft, the synergy is there, but so is the obvious tech. Like, so is the, what am I trying to say? What's the word I'm looking for? I just said it like a little while ago.
There's modes
it's
on this team.
You can tell what the team wants to do. And so it becomes significantly easier to counter. There is some good tech and some, like, you know, mixability with like Talonflame, which can get some really good support moves. Like you can run like Rain Dance Talonflame, but even then it's like, okay, so Hydreigon, right? It's like what's a spicy pick for Hydreigon? You know, Choice Specs, Terrifier, Heat Wave. You know what I mean? Or are you gonna run like Focus Energy, Razor Claw, Draco Meteor? Yeah, stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like these Pokemon, you know what they do for the most part. I've messed around with really weird Goldango sets before. Like, I know it gets Recover. You know what I mean? Like, I know that it gets some of these like more interesting Pokemon. I'm just a little like, prove me wrong, Justin. Like, I don't get me wrong. This is not a indictment on his play. I think if you're gonna give anybody in this chat, in this like league, in my opinion, one of the weaker teams, like Justin's gonna be the one that's gonna be able to flourish with it just off skill alone. But I think you look at this and it's just like, it's like a little behind the times in terms of draft and the just at a power level. He's sure you have Garchomp, but like, okay, I'm gonna tech on Ice Terra Blast or a random Ice Beam somewhere. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden we're like playing an entirely different game.
I think what you're trying to say is you hate him. That's what I don't know about you guys listening, but what I'm hearing is I hate Justin Tang. And
I don't
no, I'm kidding.
know how you got that. I'm not playing into that clip for sure. Not no.
If you say anything bad about anybody, it means you hate them. Of course, this is gonna be on the internet, man. No,
Forever.
I see where you're coming from. I've played enough draft to know that Talonflame Garchomp scares the hell out of me. Talonflame Garchomp in draft, I guess in old VGC, it was incredible as well, but I remember that there's like a core. There's like the core, and anybody that is listening right now that plays a lot of VGC draft, there's a lot of good teams that have things like, I think the only thing that the team is missing is really a Rotom. Like you have Earthquake Spam on this team, and I think the Hydreigon fills that role a bit as well. Double Dragon.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Talonflame next to Goldango, Talonflame next to Garchomp, this team can do a lot of things, like using the same criteria, and let's not ignore the Brambleghast there, right? I remember that, man, like a Wind Rider, Tailwind, what's it called? Power Whip?
Power Whip? Yeah, Power Whip.
With Choice Band or Poltergeist? Not much can survive that, too. Like, so I see what he's doing here, and there's a lot of turn one offense that I feel like this team can kind of get ahead of you. But I think good prep can stop a team like this because we've seen these Pokemon so frequently. So this might be a little easier to prep against than maybe other teams. But at the same time, who's at the helm, right? So that's why a certain weapon in a certain person's hand is a little scarier than in others.
Yeah.
So
this is literally what I said, but you said that I hate Justin Tang. So.
Oh yeah, you do. I stand by that. But Justin's watching this. No, we're just messing around.
Justin's like, wow, this Jon-Luke's guy is kind of a jerk. It's like, geez,
wow,
Louise.
I need to beat him really badly in week
4, I think, or whatever. I did say that in my video. I was like, hey, Justin, I'm excited to lose against you in week 4.
Well, remember when you said you didn't want to start with rivalries? I'm doing it myself.
Yeah, I can tell that you're trying to manufacture. I don't, man, it's not that deep. Life's not that deep. We're playing a video game. Like,
yeah, like one of those like greasy reporters in sports. You're like, hey, I heard this guy said something about your mother. And it's like, what do you have to say about that? It's like, what? So, I don't know. So I think this team is probably better than you're making it out to be, but I understand why you came to that conclusion. So maybe we can rate this in maybe a middle between what I think it is and what you think it is. So where would you rate this team?
I'd put it in C tier.
See, I'd rate this in high A, personally, just because I've seen teams like this in draft. Let's just say I've never seen a team like this do poorly, you know? I've always seen it finish in the positive. And like I said, we're gonna try to keep the player out of it. I would say this team alone, with a Goldango, with a Talonflame, if you can get Trick Room up against this team, I think you're in a better spot. But we even see Magmortar too with Redirection. Like, this team has a lot of stuff. Intimidate, a lot of high damaging attacks. You see Make It Rain, Wave Crash, Blizzard, things like that. Then you got Follow Me. You've got the, what's it called? Intimidate. You've got Tailwind, like I mentioned. So I see a lot of tools. It's just how much time does he have to prep for this? That might come down to it. So I'm curious to see how it is. So I think we can put this in a C, in a B as well.
Yeah, I think like, yeah. I mean, we're fundamentally not, I don't think, going to agree on where the team sits, which is like fine. Like, and ultimately, I would probably defer to your opinion over mine since you are more draft experienced.
No,
no, not that. I would fight that. If we're putting that there, then the Church of Chiyu needs to go in like S+ or something.
It's going up in like up where my Indigo Prep Doc tab is up here. So, you put it near the smiley face right here. There we go. It's now an icon on the website. That's how good it is. I would probably put it above Cisco's team, but because I think it'd be A, you think it'd be C. Let's just split the difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I understand you're wrong.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it as well. But next team, Shuckleking, my week 1 actually. So I have prepped against this team as well, and Urshifu is very difficult to prep against in draft. And especially when you have a Tornadus, one of its best friends, next to it, it makes it very, very difficult to stop. No protecting, defensive Terras, there's a Flutter Mane right there, and a Volcarona. Do you go Trick Room against this team? Well, he's got a ride on Arboliva there. You've got, you know, Scraggles, the GOAT, you know, 1-pointer, very sought after in the draft and stuff like that. And there's just a very nice balance on this team of out-of-the-box offense, Trick Room, a lot of naturally high base stats. What's your take on what I just said, kind of thing?
You could give him just the 3 first Pokemon and he might win. I don't know. Yeah, I think the team is quite strong. Even just the first 4, I think, are pretty excellent together. Tinkaton as well. I love Tinkaton. Plug, I won a local with Tinkaton back in Reg H 1.0.
Nice.
But yeah, I think ultimately the team is good for sure. And I mean, Shuckleking, if we're going to talk about like putting tools into the hands of a good player, like Shuckleking is like draft, you know, royalty, you know?
Yep.
So if he goes, hey, these 3 Pokemon are worth the amount of points that he spent on Urshifu, Flutter Mane, and Tornadus, like he's kind of cooking with gas probably. And then he filled in the roles of kind of a more standard balanced team at the back. So you have Arboliva, which is like Rillaboom, you know, at home.
Sure.
Because I think, yeah, I think at that point, like, had Thwackey already been taken? I can't remember, but
Thwackey was taken pretty late. Was it late? I think Arboliva was taken a little bit later in the draft.
The rock type Pokemon that I'm not going to say the name of is really great as a counter for things that want to attack into Urshifu and Tornadus. So, I mean, because of the Lightning Rod ability. I don't quite get Cryogonal, but you know what? I'm just probably missing the sauce. And then, I mean, Scraggy makes sense. It's a Trick Room answer. Gets Intimidate, you know, it's Incineroar at home, but it gets access to Endeavor. And then Chimecho, I actually kind of get. Heal Pulse, Helping Hand, that kind of stuff. Like, I've actually toyed with Chimecho before in Regulation H, because the sauce is the sauce, you know what I mean? So I see the vision with it. But yeah, I think overall it's quite a strong team.
Yeah, you've Chimecho'd before, clearly. Like, its move pool is legendary. It gets everything. Anything you can possibly hope for, it gets.
Dark Pulse, Psychic, Helping Hand, Heal Bell, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it gets Heal Bell. And the last time I said not many things get something, a lot of things got it. So I'm pretty sure Heal Bell isn't given out to many things. It is literally a bell. So, maybe.
I would hope it gets it.
Yeah.
And then
yeah, the Cryogonal, I think, is interesting. Like, it's got a really high special defense, so it could have, like, a, you kill all the physical attackers, and then this thing can't be killed. I think it gets recovered, like you mentioned as well. You know, you could run, like, a damage healing, what's it called, like, a healing item, like Leftovers or something like that with Protect, you know. And then it might just be able to just stall out an opponent. Freeze Dry is just an incredible move across the board. But yeah, I think the only thing on the team I would even raise an eyebrow to is Cryogonal. I would rate this team really high, wouldn't you?
I would agree, yeah.
Like, I know it's a very top-heavy draft, but I would put it in S right now.
Yeah. I mean, and my thing with that is that, okay, so my main complaint with these teams, like some of these teams, is that there's not enough variety in their top picks. Yep. Tornadus is not a mon that's known for not having variety, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Flutter Mane gets really insane, like, coverage, you know, Mystical Fire, Energy Ball, Thunderbolt, Power Gem. Like all of these really random coverage moves on a base 135 special attack, it does really well. Urshifu, okay, but I mean, breaking through Protect is like broken in its own right, so of course that Pokemon's going to be really good. Volcarona
best
as
at one
well.
thing, right?
Yep, Volcarona as well. It gets Quiver Dance, you know, it gets Struggle Bug, Heat Wave, Flamethrower, a bunch of options there. It can be either your sweeper or a support, so it fetches those rolls. Tinkaton with Mold Breaker, you know, it gets Feint, it gets Fake Out. You have to play the guessing games on exactly what kind of set they're running. You know what I mean? Like, the top 5 like have a lot more variety than I think people anticipate them to. So Shuckleking has managed to both grab mons that are good and can fill many different kinds of roles.
Yeah, and I think you hit it right on the head. Take a ton joke. All right, made of class. You could run these 5 Pokemon every single week with 5 different sets for 7 weeks.
Yep.
And do very well. I think there's so much variety with these 5. And you have the Urshifu that's probably going to run the same set for the most part most weeks. Maybe a coverage move in the 3rd slot. Maybe a U-turn in the 4th slot if it's a choice item. But honestly, it just put a different item on it every week. It could be Focus Sash, could be Mystic Water, it could be Choice Band, Choice Scarf. It could be Life Orb. It could be anything, really, right? I think it gets Bulk Up, Coaching, things like that. So I think Urshifu is pretty much going to be what you're expecting most weeks with friends. And if you can set that Urshifu up early or late, you're going to be in a bit of trouble. So I think we would both agree that this is the best team we've talked about so far.
I would agree with that, yes.
I don't know if it's going to be the lone S tier at the top, but we'll have to see how the rest of the teams go. But into the next team, Alexusedsplash. You think there was an archetype he was going for? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't... You know, the ideas might trickle down a little bit, but I'm having a bit of a struggle to kind of see exactly what he's going for here.
Yeah, maybe a glass of water might help me remember.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Rain! Duh.
That's Rain! Oh my goodness. I see it now.
How do we not see it? Rain.
I wouldn't have seen it.
He's going for Rain.
Yeah. Dude, look at the base stat average. Holy crap.
Yeah, he's got some really good Pokemon in there. I mean, Landorus is fantastic, obviously. With a decent amount of coverage. I mean, it gets Psychic. It gets Crunch.
Sheer Force Psychic is nuts.
Here. Yeah, Sheer Force Psychic. Obviously, our Caledon, which is actually quite good in draft, with moves like Dragon Tail, if you're going to stop an opposing Trick Room, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we saw Joey with it. It was great.
Yeah. But again, like, it is so obvious what he wants to do, you know?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, is there another way to play the team, you know?
Like, no, right? Like it is so Rain centered. Like you can in theory like not run Rain on it, but then like where the synergy kind of falls apart a little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious to watch some of the matches because I always, you see it on paper, we can speculate, we see a bunch of different tools and stuff, but like what vision does the player have for his own team, right? We can only sit there and kind of go, this is what I see, but it's in the eye of the beholder, right? So there's a lot of tools, but you could definitely, yeah, I think that everybody going into this team needs to just ask themselves, like, how do I stop Rain? You know, right off the bat, can I play in it? Can I defend against it? And so on and so forth. And if he decides to deviate from that plan, I think that's the way I would drive that prep session is start with defense against Rain and have adjustments to what other things he might be able to do. It could be like adaptability. Basculegion is really strong with the ghost coverage. There's not a lot of switch-ins or resist to ghost. Lando might just need a little bit of speed control from Kilowattrel. I think a physical Landorus might be suboptimal, but is usable in certain weeks.
Yeah.
So I do see some of the things here in different ways. The Dipplin, I've seen people Dipplin before, and I'm not convinced based on what I've seen. I think it's a fun little, ooh, maybe an Eviolite, that'd be kind of cool. But again, what's it really gonna do? You know? Like, how are you dealing damage to me?
Right, I think Dipplin in draft scenarios are particularly for, like, if you want to have inaccurate moves. Like, I can see, like, if he wants to be able to hit Sandsear outside of Rain on those particular Pokemon, that makes sense. You know, if he wants to be able to hit a Hurricane, those kinds of things. But otherwise, yeah, I am also, like, not super enticed by Dipplin, but I think it has utility in very, like, if you're like, I really can't bring Rain to this, but I still want to use these super powerful moves, I can kind of see the vision.
Yeah, and Politoed 2 is really interesting. I've had Politoed Basculegion before. Actually, no, I had Politoed Kingdra. That's what I had. And Wave Crash with a lesser attack stat was still devastating.
Yeah.
And people, I ran a Wave Crash one, and I actually went for Terra Water Choice Band Kingdra, and keep in mind it only has 95 attack, and the Bastard Legion has 112. So Rain boosted Terra Water Choice Band. It KO'd a Gudra Hisui, and it KO'd a Blastoise the next turn. I've got the receipts. So
yeah, I mean,
if you just lean into that, essentially there are no resists.
Right.
Right.
Well, and the thing too is, especially if it's Swift Swim. Actually, I don't want to talk about that too much because if Alex watches, I don't want to give away some of the stuff. But
here's how I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah, but there are ways to play this team to your advantage. That even if they have opposing weather, unless it's like gonna be set up automatically, there are ways that you can kind of get around it.
You know what I think this team would really benefit from is a sun deterrent. And for people who are asking what I mean by that is something that deters you from challenging this team in the sun. So in some cases, it could be a Moltres Kanto. It's like, all right, I'm going to use Hurricanes in the rain, but if you set the sun on me, I'm going to have a sun boosted overheat waiting for you.
Yeah, it's going to go stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Or you might have something with solar power. Like a Charizard is pretty cheap in draft too, right? So I think if Alex were able to draft something like that, just to give people something to think about, I think it could go a long way. Even a Flareon. Flareon is usually like 2-3 points. You know, like drop the Quagsire or the Dipplin and grab a Flareon. It's like, all right, you can play in it. You asked for this, you know? And the Monkey Dory I think is really cool too. It offers a bunch of utility parting shot fake out and just a really nice attack stat or special attack stat. Where would you rate a team like this, Mr. Jon-Luke?
I mean, where would you rate it? Because I have an idea, but I want to see how close we are aligned in this.
So, because it's such a hard mode to... I just don't know. I'm going to put it down here, not just because I think it should be in D. I'm just going to put it there just while I look at this again. I just don't know how you could deter obvious strategies to stop this team. That'd be my only thing. Is it easily counterable? So is this down by Cisco?
Yeah, I would say low B, high C. Personally for me.
Yeah... Low B, high C. Would you put it above or below Cisco? Because I think whichever one would be above or below, we can drop that one to C.
Can I see Cisco's team again?
I think this one would go down.
Yeah, I'm going to put it above Cisco. Because yes, the synergy is obviously there, but if he gets if he gets weather control, dog, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, bye-bye, have a good, wrap it up, you know, good night, have fun.
Yeah, if you can't stop it, you're in trouble. And I haven't looked at all the teams. Like it, you know, if you don't have like a prankster weather changer or if you don't have prankster on your team, like I'm trying to think how you would even stop it. Like you would have to have a bulky team. Like what's going to take a wave crash in the rain from Band? Can't fake it out, right? So maybe this team is a little bit better than we're giving it credit for. Maybe it's above Justin's team.
Yeah, we can put it there. Might be. If we're gonna go that route, then it's better than. Is it better than my team? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that decision to you. I don't know if I can fairly judge my own team.
Let's put it in B because I know a lot of rain teams do. It's again one of those archetypes that I feel do regularly well, but might not win the championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they do well. They're a good regular season team. They're like the Toronto Maple Leafs of Draft League. My poor Leafs, they suck so bad right now. Anyway, if you're from Toronto, comment down below that we're all in pain. Let's share it together. So that's rated that team. Konamiplsnerf. I really like this team. There are, you know, like the 2-2-2 strategy in VGC, right? You have 3 different modes, 2 Pokemon each. You lead wrong, you might lose.
The game is played a team preview. Yeah, the game is played a team preview.
This team has 2-2-2-2-2-2-2.
Yeah, Weezing, Gigas, Medicham, Gigas. He has beat up with Ambipom for Terrakion. Yeah, the team is good. It's personally one of my favorite archetypes to play, like in VGC, Sun, Wheezing Sun, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm a little biased towards liking it just because of what I play a lot. But yeah, I don't. I guess my only complaint would be that it's like, okay, you know, you set up Rain and this thing's kind of cooked, but it's got Wheezing that you can play with, like stop, like priority Rain setup, you know, a bunch of other stuff like that. Like, yeah, I would argue this team is quite strong.
Well, you want to talk about, we were talking about the last team, Alexusedsplash, his team, his Rain team, and I said, if you don't have a Prankster Weather Changer, which he does, let's just say he didn't, Brute Bonnet is literally a perfect counter for Basculegion. Like,
yep. Like, you literally just stack that thing with a Rocky helmet and say, have fun, bye-bye. Go ahead, deal some damage to me.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have Pelipper, which is kind of the bigger problem there. He doesn't have Pelipper for the flying type damage.
Yeah, exactly. So Brute Bonnet just looks fantastic into that matchup, and I can't wait for it. There's also, we mentioned the beat-up Justified and the Wheezing Gigas. We have the Medicham Gigas as well. Skill swapping Pure Power onto Regigigas. I know it's a meme strat, but what is draft if not for memes, you know?
Right. So like if you get to an end game where you have a position where you can make that happen, you probably win the game on the spot.
I don't even want to do what his actual attack stat would be if he did get Pure Power onto the Gigas. I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to look at it.
It's an incredibly high number.
Let's just say it starts with a 4. It starts with a 4.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's really gross. It's really gross. It would do a lot of damage. Crush Grip at full. If you're not a ghost type, you're going down to Crush Grip at full HP.
Crush Grip, that's funny. No, I think, and then it's funny because Raging Bolt's here, right? And we haven't even mentioned it. That's how good this team is. Like, we just talked about so many different things, and we haven't even mentioned one of the best Pokemon in Regeth entirely.
One of the best. No. You said too many words. One of the best Pokemon.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we found out in the past maybe 12 months that Electric Dragon is an incredible
really good typing.
Yeah,
you only garner one weakness from the electric typing. Like, come on.
Yeah, especially when you give it like broken moves to, like, I don't know, Electro Drift and, you know, Thunderclap and things like this thing. I keep saying this. This thing, its existence is literally because Urshifu Rapid Strike exists, and they went, we got to do something about this thing.
About this thing,
right? Yo, Jim, why did you make Urshifu Rapid Strike? What? Now we got to fix this.
Right now, my only complaint with it, I guess, here is that now I do want you to look at this team, and a well-placed ground type does kind of go stupid against it.
Seriously, because like that ground weakness, we look at it here, that Wheezing is not really an immunity, is it?
No.
And you can only tear one thing.
You're not bringing Wheezing and bringing Levitate. Like, if he brings Levitate Wheezing, Konami, you and I are going to have a discussion. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what this team would really benefit from? If that Typhlosion Hisui turned into a Charizard. Wouldn't it? Yeah,
and then they can learn Hurricane for if they want to set up the Rain.
Yeah, and we were talking about the exact opposite with the Rain team. You have a Rain deterrent, right?
Right.
So I think that would be a great swap.
Yeah, like Hurricane, Weather Ball, like Heat Wave, Overheat, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think there's definitely some viability there.
Yeah, like, is Typhlosion better than Charizard? Probably just side by side.
In a vacuum, probably. Yeah.
Because Frisk in Fake Out immunity, but at the same time, on a team like this, I think Charizard might work out a little bit better. But if we're just saying, if our biggest criticism of this team is, I would rather have this one over this, but I see why they did this, it's a pretty damn good team.
Right.
Like, I think we may have. S-tier. Yeah, I think we're in S. Would you put it above or below Stunkys?
Again, I'm a little Sun buddy. I love my Sun cores. I love my Wheezing core. So I personally would put it above, but that's probably more of a bias than it is like an educated decision.
So I would put it above. I would put it first, and here's why. And I'll give you my reasoning why. I think you and I would probably either put it here or here, and I don't think either of us really care where. I would put it first over the Philadelphia Stunkys teams. What's it called? Drawing a blank on the team name. Shuckleking's team. Is because of all of the different modes, if you guess wrong, if you're like, oh, I need to go anti-Sun, and he leads beat up Justified, you might just lose turn 1. That might be the case, or you have like a late game. Imagine you go with like the Raging Bolt and the Murkrow, and then you somehow manage to like, you know, trip over that last hurdle to the finish line, and right at the finish line is waiting for you Terrakion and Ambipom. You know, or Weezing Gigas for that matter. So I think this team is going to be very scary in the late game.
Yeah.
So I think this is why this is the best team in the draft. I don't think there's. I think now that I think of it and talk about it, I think there might be a little bit more of a gap between these two teams. Even though, guys, I'm prepping against this team for week 1. I know how freaking good it is, but I'm not sure if it would be easier to face this team or this team, but I know that this one looks scarier to me. But that's just me, though. So would you agree with maybe some of that logic?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So moving on to Zolrain, we got 3 teams left. We'll kind of run through this. This is my week 2 opponent, and the Chienpao was taken from me, so I literally hate this player immediately. Me and Zolrain, this is the rivalry I was talking about on my side. He took what I wanted, and I had to scramble, and I'm kind of happy with what I got, but still, you know, the one that got away, this Chienpao, I've always wanted it. But what did you think of the clear Sword of Ruin E-Speed option and then adding Psychic Terrain? Do you think that's a big of a hurdle as I'm thinking of it to be?
You know, so I harken back to NAIC when I faced Pat Connors, and he had a Moongus on Miraidon team, and that Amoonguss was like the most annoying thing in the world for my team. It actually was quite a problem. So in terms of like anti-synergy, I may be a little more I may be a little more forgiving, because it's like, okay, well, if you just play good, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just like play better. And that is, if you play around the anti-synergy, you're going to be just fine. And I think that Entei, particularly in like best of 1 style play, has a couple of like trickster sets that you can use if you really want to. But at the same time, if I see you bringing, you know, the side spam mode with Entei Chienpao, okay, so it's either a 2-2-2 decision, or I'm going, okay, this is Scarf Eruption Entei. Like, you know what I mean? It's like immediately I'm like, okay, I can already, I see the writing on the wall. So there's kind of that too. And so there's some counterplay around that, but I would say, what are your thoughts on the team?
This team is fast. Like, this team, like Lightning McQueen is speed, as we've watched from seeing Cars. This team is speed. My goodness, this team is fast naturally. Like, yeah, there's a Hippowdon there, but look at the average. 97 average? That's insane. The Hippowdon is there to definitely lower this, like, to deter Trick Room, I guess. It's not the strongest thing in the world with 112 attack, but it enables another very fast Pokemon. So it's like, I would still want to go Trick Room against a team like this for the most part, because even the Hippowdon, like, if you can answer the Hippowdon in Trick Room, like Houndstone, Lycanroc, okay, yeah, you have a couple different modes, but I also think that this team is missing a lot of really key types. This team is missing a Fairy type. It's missing a Grass type as well, and a Dragon type. And those are very important resistances needed, I think.
And I'm failing this. So even if there's a little bit of anti-synergy on a team, I think that's fine. I'm failing kind of to see any cohesive synergy around this team, or my kind of idea for draft, which is like type synergy, like cohesive balance that you can build around. I don't really see that. It looks like he's got 2 really strong pairs, and then everything else was kind of like, okay, what's left? You know what I mean?
Like, everything was like an I guess. It's like, I guess this, and I guess this, and I guess I'll pick this.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, well, I need a water type. I've got 2 points left. I'm going to get Inteleon. You know what I mean? It's like, and again, I could be missing the vision. Like, I don't want to make such a hard judgment and, you know, get called out when I'm dead wrong later. But yeah, I'm failing to kind of see some of the like the bigger picture stuff.
Yeah, and one last rip into this team is, where's the Focus Sash would be my question. Right? Like,
yeah, that's true. You got quite a few.
Chienpao potentially in DD, Grafaiais potentially. Inteleon, Lycanroc, Fletchender. Yeah, there's a lot of Focus Sash candidates on this team, but I also don't. I think Zolrain's always wanted to do a draft. He was saying, and this is his first one. So you know what I mean? Like we do have transactions. Pencils have erasers. So I feel like this team can make a few transactions. There's so many points available and so many good Pokemon left. I feel like this team could be fixed. Fixed in my opinion. Fixed.
Yeah, I think Zolrain was the only person not to utilize all of their points.
Oh, he has points left? 2, yeah. It's right on the screen.
Yep. Yeah, I think he was the only person not to utilize every point.
Yeah, you could upgrade this Inteleon or something like that to maybe a bulkier water type. And I think that would change a bit. And I think this team kind of wants a grass type. Like this Houndstone.
Yeah, I would say so.
I think this Houndstone could be a grass type.
Otherwise, yeah, water... like a water type is like yummy. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have no water resist, and you have what, 1, 2.
Well, 1.
Oh, you have 1 water resist. Yeah.
But it's look at those defenses of their resist.
Yeah, it's an Inteleon. You know what I mean?
It's a resist.
Yeah. It gets 2 shot instead of 1 shot.
Yes.
And then you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 50% of the team is weak to water.
Yeah. Wow.
So that would be my thing. Yeah, I would maybe argue that this is the weakest team we've seen so far.
I think so too. Like, I think the Psy spam is really key. We were talking about the Rain team and how strong Rain is if you don't have an answer for it. If you don't have Wide Guard, or if you don't have an answer to Psychic Terrain, you're in a bit of trouble. Because like in DD Iron Crown, this isn't your grandma's Psychic Psy spam team with the Indeedee female. No, this is Indeedee male. I'm coming at you twice.
Right.
I'm gonna double tap you if you can't stop it. So I can see like Booster Crown with Scarf Indeedee. Here's my best. Try to stop it. Like that might actually it might double tap a few Psychic types, right?
Right.
So I think this team needs a nice deterrent to Terra Dark. And I think this team would be great. Like the Chiampao with Sacred Sword, it might be enough, but I think this team needs 1 or 2 transactions to become really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you put this team probably below Cisco right now?
I would, yeah.
Same. I think this team has potential. Like on my report card, by the way, nice logo, by the way. I know that Zolrain just commissioned somebody to make his, redo his brand. Great job. I think her name is Miranda, who did it, but fantastic work. Shout out to her, and shout out to Zolrain for rebranding the channel. But the next team, the best team in the draft by far, hands down, no question. And then we'll just move on. We'll just put this one. We'll just put this one in the tabs. Just up here.
Yeah.
We'll just put this one in the tabs up here.
If I put my own team in B tier, we got to take a serious look at it.
You know what? I will leave you to rate my team. Maybe I can tell you what I drafted and why, and I'll let you rate it. How about we do that? It'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I can see some of the synergy here, but yeah, let's go for it. Let me know.
Okay, so the Gouging Fire, I hate facing it, which means I think it's a good pick. Next Pokemon.
Right.
There's a lot of Pokemon on this team I've never used before. I've never used Gouging Fire. I've never used Ogerpon, Cornerstone, Cresselia. I've seen it from afar, never used it. My Lodic, I've always ripped into it because it doesn't have a lot of out-of-the-box offense, but I felt like it had a nice role here. Again, as a deterrent to switching in and to intimidating, because Ogerpon can't really stop it, right?
Right.
And the Gouging Fire needs to hold the Clear Amulet or else, right? So this at least gives you something to think about. My Enamorus was just my cheap fairy type. Cheap has an 11 points. Cheap has an 135 special attack. So...
Right.
Yeah, and then there's the Klefki, just to answer all of those teams that we were talking about, those archetypes, the terrain teams, the weather teams, things like that, the Tailwind teams, Klefki kind of answers all of those. And then we have I mentioned this and I'm very open about it. I think Fairy Ground for your Tricker mode and Physical and Special, vice versa, is one of the best cores you can have for a Trick Room sweeping team. And I got the 2 I wanted. So, and then you have Tauros, Ampharos. Go ahead.
Yeah, overall it makes sense. I think the first 4 have really incredible synergy. I mean, Gouging Fire and Ogerpon, they either want to set up or they want to do stuff. Milotic, people are going to want to intimidate your main 2 duos, so Milotic is a really good deterrent for that. There's not really a lot of Incins. There's only one Incin, so only one person has to be worried about that. This schmuck over here, I guess. And then Enamorous, yeah, I think it slept on. I got some of my ideas from playing Ranbats, and so I've seen, AV or Choice Scarf Enamorous before. It can put in a decent amount of work.
Let me write that down.
Klefki is... Yeah, Klefki's really fantastic. I mean, anything with Prankster and multiple moves to kind of shut down main strategies, I think is always good. It's the whole reason I picked Meowstic. So Klefki's a good entrance. Gengar, I get. It is also pretty good in draft. It has a bunch of utility. It gets things like Will-O-Wisp, Curse, Memento, if you really want to go that route. Like, I think Gengar's maybe and it's really fast. It's frail, sure, but like, what else on your team wants the Focus Sash? The answer is none of it.
Yeah.
So it's like a super safe Sash pick. I think you have an Intimidator plus a Water type, that can deal damage in Tauros. Or is yours the Mono Fighting type? Yeah, yours is the Mono Fighting Tauros.
Yeah, I didn't get the other one, yeah. No points.
Ampharos, really fantastic. Great Trick Romancer, really slow. It gets access to Meteor Beam, so you can get it as +1 special attack boost on it and then kind of go to town from there. Overall, I think the team...
Shut up!
I know the techs. I know the techs.
Hey, let's go back to Jon-Luke's team for no reason at all.
Yeah, dog. I play too much Pokemon. I know all this stuff. I play a lot of Ranbats. Love Ranbats.
The whole time I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, overall, solid team. I'd put it straight B tier. I think again, it's a fine. It's got a good Pokemon, not a lot of or any great Pokemon, but can see a lot of success when piloted by the right person. I would probably put it either right before or right after mine. I'll leave that one to you.
Well, clearly it's got to be before, because this is on my channel, right?
That's fine. That's totally fine. My ego is not so fragile that I can't take a reduction in placement.
Yeah, we have issues on this channel emotionally. But one of the most anticipated that was hard to say. I've been looking forward to seeing, and I can't wait to actually see some of these matches, is Zemtennar. I've been learning just from watching his videos for a while now, even before he's been in this league. I knew who he was, and it's just a real pleasure to have him around for this, and I can't wait to see him. I can't wait to dive into the team. So when it comes to Zem's team, I see a lot of the synergy here. His video actually came out today on explaining it. If you haven't seen it, Jon-Luke, yet, I know it only came out like a few hours ago, but definitely check it out. But what would be your take on this team? He's got my favorite Pokemon in draft right off the bat.
Yeah, Ogerpon Hearthflame. Yeah, it's good. Rillaboom, I think, is okay. It allows Ogerpon to have basically double grassy glide prio plus Sneasler activation. I think makes sense. Ditto, interesting in draft. It's more of a information gleaner than anything else, I think, because you can learn the set really quickly. But then if it's like a set that you're not wanting, I think, has Zem done draft before?
I don't think so. This might have been the only one he's done kind of as big as this, maybe. But I feel like maybe it's a no.
Overall, I think the team has good components. I'm interested to see how well they work together. I think Scyther is good. But the things that you would want to answer with Scyther, he has on his team, which is kind of my question there. Altaria makes sense because he doesn't have any other mode to stop weather. So I actually think Altaria is a really smart budget pick there. Plus, it also covers Dragon typing, which I guess he has in Walking Wake, but if he doesn't want to bring that... and also Walking Wake's actually really good because it answers both Sun and Rain. Clefairy, interesting. It does get some cool tech in particularly this kind of best-of-one style play. Rabombi's great. Yeah, I kind of like the team. I don't necessarily know if I like it as much as our teams, personally. I think that a well-placed flying type really kind of cooks it a little bit, but past that, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was thinking Terra Dragon looks fantastic into this team. Like this Walking Wake, I feel like Terra Fire and Terra Dragon is basically the answer to deal with a team like this. That Walking Wake is going to have to do a lot of lifting on this team. I think I think what would really help this, as much as Clefairy is a good Pokemon, at 14 points, I don't even think Primarina was drafted. I think that, like, if you grabbed a stronger fairy type, even made that Clefairy into a Clefable, now we're kind of cooking. Now at least you have to think about it, right? Now the Walking Way can hit the fire types, and then the Moonblast from the Clefable can hit the Terra Dragon or something like that. You have the Rabombi there. I just don't think it, again, I don't know how Rabombi deals with dragons, just because it's so frail. But it's really there to just kind of get Tailwind up and be supportive too. With it's almost like you're running it like a Whimsicott, right?
Right.
Like it can, but that's not why it's there.
Yeah, it just doesn't have to hold the Covert Cloak. Exactly,
right? So I think you can go double Fairy on a team like this, but 2 supportive Fairy, I feel like you can go with an offensive Fairy in the Clefairy spot. And it would do great, but Clefairy Ogerpon scares the hell out of me. So that's another thing.
That's true, yeah. Like Follow Me Swords Dance, what are you going to do against that, you know?
Yep. Yeah, or even Focus Energy and you just go for Terrify or Bonk, right?
Yeah, bonk time.
This team has no special attackers except for the Walking Wake too, so that's why I think it's just really another reason why, like, if you just reflect or just, you know, intimidate spam against a team like this, I feel like you're probably okay. So this team might have easy counters, so I'd probably put this fairly low as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would as well.
Would you split the middle here or put it near the top or the bottom of C tier?
Maybe the bottom. Like it. Yeah, I'd probably.
I think I agree with you.
Down there.
I feel like the team started off very strong in the draft. Like Ogerpon, Rillaboom, Sneasler. That is a very, very nice way to start your draft.
Yeah.
But I feel like this 4th pick needed to be, like, it might have been Walking Wake. I think it might have been. But again, that Walking Wake is doing a lot more lifting than, like, if you can take out the Walking Wake and then just save your Terra for later, you're fine.
Right.
Things like that. So this one might just have like a Terra type just to kind of counter the team. But so that, just so we don't keep you guys too long, and Jon-Luke, thank you very much for staying a little bit longer than you agreed to. I appreciate that. Story of being a guest on this channel is you stay longer than you want to. Shout out Aaron Zhang, James Beck, every other interview that I did. But no, that's been awesome though. But hey guys, if you guys are super, super excited for the DDL as much as me and Jon-Luke are, 2 different coaches, Toronto 6 and the say it.
You got this, you can do it.
Damn
Ypsilanti Incineroars.
Ypsilanti Incineroars, yeah, Incins, yeah, there we go. That team. If you're excited to see those, go check out all the channels. I've got them down in the description of all 10 players. And what I want you to do is I want you to turn notifications on for all the players. That way you guys actually know when the games come out. They're not going to ping you all the time with all these like random, you know, like videos that it's going to be all basically DDL related content for the most part. So if you want to follow the league, dive into it, follow the players, get to know the players, find out what teams they're running, get into the minds of the players. And this is going to be a lot of fun this season. I'm really glad we have the perfect roster of 10 players. Wouldn't have picked anybody else. But tune in for the player previews. I mentioned that. And I'd like to also shout out once again, Mr. Aloe, for creating all of our graphics throughout the season for all the players. Yeah, Aloe. It's fantastic. So thank you very, very much to him. I don't know if he has any socials. I don't think he really cared too much about sharing them, but just recognition goes to him. And I guess we will end that one there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Jon-Luke, thank you very much for joining me and giving me more time than you should have. Thank you for rating my teams lower than I thought it would be. I thought it was like S or, you know, like whatever's above there, you know. I thought it'd be like I thought it was in the address block up here, you know. So but anyway,
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one, and go check out Jon-Luke's channel. I'll put his link in the description as well for his team preview, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Nice.